Doctor Who, the 10 best 12th Doctor stories to mark Peter Capaldi's departure. It's been a long road, and it started with a pair of eyebrows. That was Doctor Who's 50th birthday. That's the show the Doctor himself is of indeterminate age, and an anniversary special that saw our first glimpse of 12th Doctor Peter Capaldi. Since then, the Doctor has battled Zygons, Daleks, mummies and Cybermen, and stubbornly refused to cut his hair. And as Capaldi steps down, making room in the TARDIS for new Dr. Jodie Whittaker, we're taking a look back at some of his finest moments from the last 3 years. Deep Breath, 2014. Like at least one of his predecessors, the 12th Doctor begins his first episode in bed. Still, he's not there for long. There's a dinosaur on the loose, and a spontaneous combustion epidemic. Can the Doctor get himself together in time? This is an uneven and occasionally frightening tale, but it has some killer moments. And even after all this time, we're still not sure what happened to the half-face man. Did he jump, or was he pushed? 2. Listen, 2014. The Doctor and Clara investigate the monster that lives under your bed, under every bed, and find themselves visiting a Gloucester orphanage, and the end of the universe. Listen doesn't always work, but when it does, it's unstoppable. Creepy and thoughtful, this is a classic example of what happens when the Doctor doesn't have a mystery to solve, he invents one. And that scene with the blanket still gives us the chills. In the Forest of the Night, 2014, I'm going to get hold over the coals for this. Everyone hates it except me. Yes, it's daft. Yes, the ending is a bit of a damp squib. Nonetheless, this Frank Cottrell boy's story is one of the most criminally underrated tales in years. The kids are fun as well, particularly Ruby. The Zygon Inversion, 2015. Peter Harness Series 9 contribution lays on the social commentary so thick you could use it for cement, but it's a darned good story in its own right. The Zygons have been living among us for years, but now a fringe group threatens an uprising. What follows is a complicated but rewarding tale of intrigue and subterfuge, where most of the twists coming from the discovery that people are not who you thought they were. Plus it closes with a jaw-dropping monologue from a desperate, impassioned Doctor, in a scene that is destined to make the highlight reels for years to come. Heaven Sent, 2015. This shouldn't have worked. But it did. It's the Doctor trapped in an echoing, Hogwarts-esque castle, pursued both by his own demons and a frightening cloaked figure. It is an hour of Capaldi talking to himself, and occasionally to Clara. It tugs at the heartstrings, chills the bones, and the ending is still absolutely staggering. The Husbands of River Song, 2015, Generally, I Can Take or Leave River Song. But the 2015 Christmas special is a riotous romp, featuring a disembodied Greg Davis and the first appearance of Nadal. This one succeeds largely because Alex Kingston has a far better natural chemistry with Capaldi than she ever achieved with Matt Smith, despite River spending the bulk of the story not having a clue who the Doctor is. Still, the moment when the penny drops is genuinely touching. The pilot, 2017. What's great about the pilot? Well, it spends 20 minutes building up a relationship between Bill Potts and her new mentor. By the time she walks into the TARDIS, the two of them are already old friends, which makes for a wonderful, natural dynamic. Plus the reintroduced Nadal is terrific. They spend the rest of the episode running away from a talking puddle, which is a bit weird. Still, Daleks. 8. Extremis, 2017. Oh, you remember. It's the one where nothing is real. Still blind after being exposed to the vacuum of space, the Doctor and his companions are summoned to the Vatican to investigate a mysterious book that's apparently responsible for a spate of deaths. This is the first, and arguably most successful, part of the Monks trilogy, and it is bonkers from start to finish. It has the Pope. It has the President, well, his corpse. It has a group of miserable scientists who blow up CERN. It has a jaw-dropping twist in its closing minutes. Honestly, what's not to love? 9. The Eaters of Light, 2017. Visiting 2nd century Scotland, the TARDIS crew get more than they bargained for when they track down the missing 9th Roman Legion, or what's left of it, and a mysterious monster that haunts the wilds of Scotland. The Eaters of Light is written by Rona Munro, the first classic series writer to pen an episode for contemporary Doctor Who, and it's brilliant, with Capaldi delivering some of his best acting as the Doctor. The script is sharp and thought-provoking, and director Charles Palmer sensibly holds back on showing the monster for as long as possible, making it all the more frightening when it eventually appears. A modern classic, in more than one sense of the word. World Enough and Time, 2017, its follow-up episode, The Doctor Falls, may have been a massive disappointment, but the episode that builds to it is nothing short of spectacular. Beginning in the frozen wastes of what turns out to be Antarctica, World Enough and Time piles on the revelations with gusto. The Doctor's regenerating. Mrs. Reformed. Bill's been shot. Oh, now she's a Cyberman. Holy smokes. ITS the Master. The atmosphere is both elegant and tense, and the makeshift Cybermen are really rather creepy. It also has a barely recognizable John Sim, hidden between layers of makeup and a sinister European accent, in what is one of the greatest reveals in Doctor Who since its 2005 return.